Wacha. Hello, beautiful people, wherever you are. Welcome back. Status Ginto back again to the root of today. It's one-on-one live, and it's a coverage of the gangsters here, representing the team wherever you are. Thank you very much for you being tuned and starting this kind of the channel on the vibe of today. One-on-one live coverage, and we have much of the things to put in accusations. And right now, I've just been told that Ginto, you are under search, you are under investigation, you are under review, you are under, there's another thing that they use in terms of your jurisdiction, and there's some of the things that do use in terms of intimidations, but the real effect and the time zone, we talk about everything has to come to you live, and everything is so awesome. But don't search for me, this is the beginning. You know, guys, I'm just wondering up to date that a person is coming and telling a person who is dealing with the agricultural in terms of fish farming that Ginto never did something correct unto my fish pond, yet while I was available, you ever saw what was really happening unto the fish pond, and everything was so fantastically done, and I was there to keep the fish from, you can just imagine, from December, from November there, it was November. From November up to April, I was available in Marwa's village to make sure that I'm subjecting my own hospitality and my knowledge, my skills, to make sure that Kenge himself is moving from one position to another, and is coming out to tell another person that go and check there. The person has went there and found that the same fish pond that I introduced him into, Kenge, there's nothing can ever challenge me. And all the people you want to use are the people I introduced into you, thinking about they're going to be doing something best or something alternatively than what I did. And wait, what kind of the answer did this kind of the person give you? He told you that when this kind of the person was doing this kind of the job, he was doing it perfectly. Even the guy came and he told me the same person you're going to bring so as he can take care of the fish in the fish pond of yours there, which is now becoming a flower bed, is the real person that I brought unto you, and I told you is the one who can just make sure that is dealing with water. So the water cannot be having the algae concentration in that kind of the essence time. And whenever you are just hinging and cucumberizing your Argentina long nose and just making some ringtone, talk about the Nokia voices in your bedroom there, touching every kind of the section, talking about this is how it's going to be touched, this is how it's going to be used, and I was subjecting myself in the mud. I was making sure that everything is so fantastic while you are enjoying yourself and putting your cucumbers where necessary and hinging your waist in a way that you will think you are just a very good dancer in terms of international. And when it comes to the real essence and the scenario of the time, you think about a person who was so jealousy, was not in terms of the good mind, and you think about you are now the good person who can just come outside and cherish other people's lives and think about how you can just go with it. The same person you have brought himself, I told him, this kind of a psychopath who has sent you in terms of looking upon that fish pond will never pay you. And he never paid us a lot of money. And even doesn't have money to pay us because of what is always scamming people. And is always requesting people to even buy the pampers, even buying the applying oil. And is just buying some didism oil, which is the baby oils, so the Conmom can be even majestically being subjected into the real life scenario of the cucumberization, which is the stupidity of the highest order. Imagine your mom is the one who is now being hinged with the cucumbers in that room. And we're thinking about now we are living in the same hut. You are just doing some nonsense, some pogromicity of the day. And when the essence comes out clearly, it means that right now it's your time for you to pay. When you are enjoying yourself, looking for baby maisha, making sure that you are hinging, and you know how King is always this way. So he's hinging himself like something else. And he thinks about whenever he was doing such kind of the scenario, even the demon came and they talked about he is not available. And he was inside using some Viagra so as he can be cucumberizing this kind of ladies meticulously, because she's a ghetto lady who was being using this kind of the hotspot cucumbers every time and every day. You think about people are just relaxing. When you are coming alongside to come and cherish and talk about how this kind of the things are just happening, we were subjecting ourselves in mud. And this is the learning position you have to run. Right now, it's your time to go in or make it a flower bed. Nobody is interested with you. And don't think about everyone who will just come there. You will have to look for the legacy of Gintu. Who did that kind of the fish pond? There's no existence of that fish pond. Maybe you wait until it rains, and whenever it rains, only 2 weeks, it had flushed all the water out because all the pipes are naked. And the real effect is one. You continue shaking your bum there. Make sure that the Argentina long nose, she's being interested for fully. Right now, I know you are in a dry spell. You are looking on where can you just go and hinge the cucumber. Because every time, every now and then, you are just hinging. You are talking about, no, hey, I'm a real African. Oh, you wanted to show her that you are the best person in terms of making sure that the conjugal rights are coming out clearly. But the real effect of the time, you never knew that you are wasting your good time. You are wasting your energy. You are wasting everything, thinking about you are just doing something meticulous. While you come outside here, not knowing the real scenario, what is really happening to this kind of the generation or the creatures, you are now taking it as an advantage to humiliate us. Now, this is the real effect of now humiliation you are bringing into us. When we were just sweating, when we were just digging and making every kind of the aspect to make sure that we are excavating, and we were just making sure that even, don't think about you are the only person who has a girlfriend, my friend. The people everybody has a girlfriend and everybody knows. Now you want me to go and subject myself, dig and make sure that I'm excavating everything. Now whenever I come, I go one round while we are just talking about now we are number 4. Now number 4. Now, now change this one. Now it is a wheelbarrow. Now, no. You are even putting her to the window so the people who are just from the far end can even see how she's now scrolling and scrambling on the window, making sure that the conjugation is going on clearly. Nobody is interested with that one. The interests that we have, even you are paying her to make sure that everything is happening that way. You have to treat this kind of the people and know that even right now, you can never tell me that, oh, you have to go and tell your girlfriend, nah, you know, now these are the things how they have to go, and make sure that we are just going inside there and talk about, oh, we have to continue. Continue with what? Continue my foot. You have to trigger something so that it can just it can monitor that you are in love. Yes, you are making things very relevant. Now that everything comes out clearly, make sure that you are surprising her with something. Not a surprise of every time is slapping her and to the back and talking about, oh, now you want us now to just salivate and think about, you know, here in Africa, we are not into such kind of seeing people's thigh. Talk about the ladies' thighs. Huh? If we see a lady's thigh, somebody can just erect there and you can find yourself having a fight in your own house because of some stupidity of that you are just doing. And you think about, oh, whenever she's coming out with something which is not relevant, you know, here it's in Africa, and you know it. And this was the thing that people never told you. Even the Conmom ever saw it, and she tried it one day. Imagine, guys, the Conmom coming out with like an underwear, and she's having like a maternity, but it is not passing beyond like, make sure from the waist, 10 centimeters. Imagine only 10 centimeters, Oruaro is there. Oruaro is the underwear. The pant is just there, and she's coming to, imagine coming to the table to dine with us, and which kind of the substrates gonna be coming in terms of smell from such kind of the position, even if, and you know, you are coming from Aaron Dante's room where the didism is being conducted, where every kind of the stupid organizations is taking place, and you are coming to us talk about, yeah, I like the food, and Argentina long nose is there to prepare rice with milk, and talk about now this is the good design from Argentina. Very stupid things. So sometimes gauge your things that you are always doing before subjecting yourself into us, because we know A to Z. But don't come to us. We know that you are cucumberizing yourselves. We know. Who doesn't know that a wife and a woman is... And I think sometimes you are being left to a dry spell. Because the Mzungu sometimes was so jealous, talking about, no, today, no, Marwa, no, today, no. Do you know that the Kenge doesn't know even crumbs? Do you know that one? Kenge thinks about the crumb we are enjoying him. Eh? You don't want to give. You know, sometimes they were calculating. Let me tell you how it was. There's a day I was in the kitchen cooking and making sure that the sufuria is burning so fantastic so they can come out with a very fantastic meal. And Kenge was talking about, mom, now this is the third day. What is the third day? I was thinking about today is the third day. Third day of what? Eh? So that's the time I knew. Even Kenge is having money, is being dry spelled. If I were me, no. And you know that time, now Kibe has passed. Huh? Other people have passed through. You can understand it. And the Kenge is coming outside to tell us, I am a man of my foot. A man of my foot. There's nothing we can ever tell to the people outside here. Because everything is being used like a safari rally. She has been promoted into the equivalent you are, yes, but the real portfolio of the time is one. Why can't you tell your mother to behave normally up to date? Because she's always thinking about she's still a kid, she's still a lady, she's still a girl of the village. She thinks about, I want to cry here. Oh, whenever you have a fabric that was given to the vulnerables, oh, she's now going here, sleep down here, run to this position, Kohera Senior, how are you? Whenever you're running from one place to another, thinking about the papa is always papa. You even be called papa. Because every time you are needing, every time you are in need, now you're going to be introducing us to another person very, very soon. From how I'm seeing the directions are going, very, very soon there's something going to be coming out very correctively. Like, how can I just... you find ourselves inside with you. And that's the effect that's coming out, which we are really emphasizing to this kind of the generation, not to do it, but you are doing it into your own affidavit and psychopathism of your mind. Try to change and focus yourself. Because there's no one who has ever come out without bendumbuli. We know that. But the real effect of now using other people because of your own rights, of just making your one part of your body to be in entertainment and using other people's whole body in the work, subjecting them into labor. And at the last time you are just making them not to go home. Imagine entertaining one part of your body only. And it's just a carelessly hanging object. Loosely attached. Huh? You are making it happy. Like you are just putting Gintu in a very bad scenario, very bad comprehensive area, and thinking about you are now doing something which is better. We are not interested with that one. But the effect now comes out clearly. All the people you are bringing so they can just take care of your fish, all of them have to look for Gintu so they can give them the impact. And the only promise I can give you, the person will come in a good, genuine reason. Talk about, bro, I'm here. I want to do their work because of this and this and this, because of these scenarios. I'll give him all the points, but in one condition. Pay me my money first. If there's no money, there's nothing you can ever get. Make it a flower garden. And take it to the bank. That's the fact. Because when you are enjoying yourself, you are just walking like now hinging everything this way. We were making our own bodies to not have rest. Yeah? And your mom, she's carrying her own side pocket. I don't know if it's a side what, and is putting here, and she's now walking like the. You think it's this way? We are not interested with that one. But the real effect of the time comes out clearly. Don't use people's brains, don't use people's effort to benefit yourself. It will come to cost you at a time, because time changes and tomorrow is another day. And when I say such kind of the reasons, I mean it, because I know what Kenge is thinking. From his own heart, I know up to date. He's just chasing nyash, nyash, nyash from A to Z. He can never think about any other thing apart from chasing nyash. Look at now your fish pond where it is after chasing your nyash. Look at where it is. Now it is having some scratches there. It is now left like a vacant CD. CD is a condom. Now your fish pond is like now the used condom. It doesn't have anything to do now. Plant there the garden so as you can just continue the flowers, because you are a very bad psychopath. And no one is willing to do it. And people just be wondering, oh, the tiles there, oh, the bed is put tiles. Nobody is bothered with the tiles that you have put. Make it a flower garden. And nobody is interested with that one. But at the end, don't use people's sons and make sure that you are benefiting yourself. At the long last, it comes to cost you. You're now sending your father to talk rudely to the people so you can benefit as you. Look at now what's really benefiting you right now. There's nothing, no benefit right now. We could have given you an idea which it can go from, you are just looking at today only. Look at tomorrow. The day you are just making sure that you are interesting and bending Argentinian long nose in a wheelbarrow style or a missionary style. I don't know which kind of the style. The style is the style you used there. And you knew that you are investing for 9 months so as something can come out. The same way we are investing ourselves also, so that something can come at the end. But now you are looking at us like a Cherokee drum, like a psychopath. But to the right effect of the time is, nobody is bothered with how you are going to be using or how you can just come to attack us. We are not interested, but we are waiting for you, because we will deal with you perpendicularly per unit time. Don't introduce us into a life, Buana. You want us to have Kohera Senior and another psychopath person called Machete Man. Now, this kind of a person have this, the other person have that one. We are not interested. If your wife is no longer, if you don't know how to treat your wife meticulously, bring her to the village, leave her here. We will deal with her perpendicular per unit time. And you will come and find that she is sleeping and getting food. Very good. Yeah. And we will deal with her. Because sometimes you think about you have a Mzungu, we cannot know how to hinge our cue and talk about fire waste. Fire waste has to come out clearly. We know how to fire waste here. My friend, don't think about you are the only African who can just deal with those kind of the things properly. Even as, you know, an African, whenever you are full of stomach, and the stomach is now roaming, there's nothing a man thinks if you are not having any other duty, apart from now thinking about how am I, which kind of the style. You are now looking at the lady and peeping at her. And whenever you just spot and talk about, this kind of the thigh, how can I touch them? You are just eluting while you are here. And you have even ate her. Oh, eating. Back to the center. Gaza, today we have the breaking news that has already reached onto the spot of today. And we want to make it happen as the wind is now blowing like something else. Here onto the spot, we start this kind of the video via telling you that we will ever make it happen, and we will ever drill the holes where we know that this kind of a hole will ever bring the attitude that we need onto the portfolio. What do I mean? Guys, we have a sarcasm that's already getting round. And if this kind of the people are told this kind of the truth, they are coming to an extent of thinking about they're going to be coming to attack Gintu. I'm not insinuated with such kind of the behavior, nor we have to rectify each other's behavior So as we can see everybody prospering and getting to the frontier. What do I mean? The Conmom, after me giving her a lecture on how she have to act and what probably meant her to chase everybody from the field because of the cucumberization and the wilting of the cucumberization from every section of the Didi uncle. Look at where the poor people have been thrown into the pogromicity because of this single woman who is like a cultism person, who is behaving like an intense psychopath. And to the real effect of the time, we come vividly to talk about we are not interested with them. And the later review that they are bringing into me, thinking about we have to go hand in hand with their own programmation of the day. We are not interested with that one. What has to come out is everybody to get the direct rule on how this kind of the things was being and why are they claiming of things that they ever did them, not knowing that they're going to be turning back unto them and eat them again. When she went to bend unto the river to make sure that she is throwing water from one position to acquire another position, going through the channel of River Nile, accessing the whole River Sea and crossing the Red Sea, following the same channel below and getting to the foot, was I there? And the real effect of the time, when she did such kind of the things, thinking about the people will never come to have that kind of an history, did she meant that one day she will come to judge the living and the dead? Did she know that she's now the person to judge everybody and make sure that you are judging them according to their own mistakes? Not knowing that she is the person who is having the better mistakes and the very worst mistakes ever in this kind of the world. And she's being supported with the son talking about, no, you have to do this kind of the things. We are not interested in this kind of the things because that's why you are showing bad habits every time. The only thing you can ever emphasize yourself and throw yourself into, it's imagine that you can even say, I want to deal with this kind of a thing once and for all. So as everybody will know that this kind of the thing is this way. But don't act foolishly. Like the way the Conmom is acting. Like a person who doesn't go to church and I'm just sympathizing. They're sauntering to the front seats of the church and they're telling even the clergyman of that day, talking about we are the very honest people and we have to come to the front and give the offerings to the living God. Offerings for the nonsense. Even God knows whatever you are doing, it's so ridiculous to the real effect of the time. Even people are just wondering, are these the people that we have to get? Are these the people to advise the young generation to move? You can imagine a person wearing an underwear and going to the river and bending there. And even coming to the real essence of the corridors. Just imagine a person who is an aged person kissing like a dog here, sniffing like a dog every time, thinking about where is money. You know, sometimes we have to check on the responsibility of becoming you. The only thing that you have never been for, people have never given you is one, and it's coming. You will hear that one of the boys who they're thinking about his Kenge fraternity is the one right now using the same material that the Didi uncle ever consumed. And now it's called the leftovers. And the people are still hanging there. And the real effect of the time that is coming out clearly, you know, this kind of the things, how they do come. You know, sometimes you have to consider yourself and know how you are acting perpendicularly per unit time. Don't misuse you are talking about now. I'm aged. I have given birth. I'm now done. Look at my last born, how the age is like Gintu's age. Maybe it's more than me. Yet you are coming outside there to show them. And it's the real effect of the time. I'm just wondering how the Lady J is going to the Conmom to ask her, Mom, how do you see this kind of a lady? I don't know how the mom could just pick out, talk about, look at this kind of the young lady now. Hold her this way. Make sure that the bam are adjusted this way and this way and this way. Put her in a simultaneous equation. Dealing with her perpendicularly. Because I think they're the ones who are teaching this kind of a boy the nonsense. You'll hear one day they are talking about, you know what, Lady J? How many rounds do you go, man? How many? And do you know that I'm eligible of going 4 and above? That's the Conmom. And how I was seeing this kind of the gadgets and how the things were being acting perpendicularly in that room. It seems that they can ever go for more than 30 minutes. And the cries are now following there. You can understand now. The work is done, action. Action is stronger than words. The action was stronger than words. And when you hear the words are stronger than actions, hey, that's a pretender. Already you know, that's a pretender. Now everybody is now mimicking and talking about where are we heading as a generation. Look at the Conrad. The Conrad can even get the guts of going to a certain lady and just propose himself and come with an underwear and sit down and talk about arrange food in front of me while they talk about this kind of the cucumbers are hanging carelessly and talk about I want you to arrange me this, I want you to bring this, the table experience. You know these things, how they go, it means that it's from the family. The family is the one which is proposing this kind of the things to happen outside here. If the family can never get their own position and talk about we have to handle this kind of the pogrom this way, we have to handle this kind of the coercive things this way, who is going to handle for you? Who is going to take care of it for you? And try to handle yourself in a way that everything is so fantastic. I'm just not knowing. Is the Conmom ready to give out his own contemplement temple to the other regime and leave the Conrad to go and chase this kind? And I think this is the reason. This is the reason. Machete Man is hungry for the young ladies. And the Conmom is hungry for the aged. I don't know why. I don't know why. They are hungry of every kind of the aspect they need. Machete Man is hungry for the young ladies, the maids who are doing there some works. They are very hungry for them. And making sure that they can even walk. You know guys, the real life of how the things go. You know when I went to the Conmom there to take a jiko, after doing my marination and all aspect of making sure that they have ate the following day, I went there to take a jiko and get it back to the villa. I went there, you know, the previous day I was told with the Machete Man, I don't like this tribe of Gintu, the Kuran people. Yet the following day whenever I went, he was wearing an underwear with a long shirt which doesn't change. It's a blue shirt has turned into white. And he was washing some utensils. I was about, what's really happening here? And the Conmom was sitting under the shade, being weaved. You can understand? Now the Machete Man was even talking to the maid there, saying about, I don't like how you are washing this kind of the things. And even I don't like how this kind of the Conmom, I don't know if she doesn't know the responsibility of being her. And now this kind of the guts are coming out like themselves. They have reached into a time they cannot even think about How is the love going on? There's no love there. Now the Conmom is trying because she has been running from one man to another. Now she's running from even night to date. They're just sympathizing with how the reaction is going, how this kind of the psychopathism is going. Let everybody does his own duty and the work at the same time. But the fact of coming carelessly, protruding with their own affections, thinking about people are interested with them, we are not interested. And don't come out equitably and thinking about you have to humiliate this, you have to humiliate this for your own benefit. One day it will come to cost you, and that's the fact. And if it costs you, it's now you have to render your own position and make sure that everything that's coming out clearly, it has to go and be following the channel that it has already been gotten into it. That is it. Beautiful people. You know, before you can know something, and before somebody can tell you something, sometimes you learn from the experience that you get into the field. When I went to Kenge, so I can do much of the duties there, I never knew that you are allowed to do much of the things. Number one, you can mingle freely in that compound. Number one. Number two, use any local material around there to sustain your sustainabilities. Number three, Kenge himself was offering and getting people to get that how you have to act and how times you have to go, if you understand me. So when we came to the real conclusion and the time of the party, that's now I started now getting the real concept that Kenge has been using as many as possible ladies. And up to date, I'm telling you, we are putting this quotation this way. Go ask Minnie Howie. She knows this kind of the concept that Kenge has ever been using to attract and get the ladies into his own intention, value, and use them perpendicularly. Because Kenge, he knows himself. That's why you see and you understand up to date. Why do you see the Argentinian longnose can never leave Kenge even 2 minutes? Because he knows Kenge can just go and be like a cock at any time. He can just go and trigger anytime, 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 anytime. You'll find the Kenge is randomly and pop. That's the baddest effect of Kenge, because he cannot control himself. That's why he allowed, and much of the ladies who are coming to the villa, they're the ones who were also having some surprise, and you will get a surprise and a shout out for free. And much of the things were coming from himself. He's buying things of himself. Let me tell you about the meeting. When they sat into one of the meetings, so they can conversate on the stuffs that will be bought in the party, Kenge selected 2 of the ladies. And he was using them to buy much of the things while they come as a surprise. What do I mean as a surprise? Kenge knew, I want this kind of a lady. Look at how the figure is. Oh, look at the bum bum. Oh, look at how she's just walking meticulously. Hinging. Just hinging the bum bum. Very fantastic. And the Kenge was aggressively talking about this is the material I need. And when he was ever seeing how the Argentinian longnose she looked like, she was feeling like even it was feeling like he was dating something like an animal. And he was ever not interested in this kind of the guy. Because that's why Ken was ever coming outside to sit and see how the ladies are walking. And there's no one has ever been into his own foot to talk about these are the things that Kenge has to do. He has to control himself. But the act of coming out to disrespect his own wife and talk about Gintu, he was ever telling us much of the stories. That Gintu, you know what? Whenever you want to date, you just wait a little bit. I'm just going to Argentina. I'm going to bring Rocio's, talk about Argentinian Rongno's sister. So as you can marry in our village. I want you people to marry the Wazungus. Hey, you know when you tell an African that way, that you want to marry a Mzungu, he's ever meticulously finding it so good and finding it so good unto their own heart. They know that whenever I have this kind of a Mzungu, everything is so fantastic. Everything goes correct. But the effect to draw and to draw it back to the table is one. What was the meaning of them getting us to this kind of the sarcasm reaction? What was the real impact of it? It was just to challenge people inside here so they can just be offering the services for free. And we keep on talking about, oh, Kenga is talking to Gintu, or I can go and conversate with him. He was giving himself out. So as you can see that Kenga is good, but the real essence of the time, Kenga is a something which is like a psychopath person. Can never even think very properly. That's why we have a problem to date. We cannot know how to handle the pogroms of the day. That's why you can never know how to do this kind of the talk about the real life situation, how it's going on. And people are getting very hard time for themselves to relate and know what is really Kenge doing to the real philanthropic Alisbash of the day. It's because of some scenarios that people do come up with and just trigger them to come, or sometimes they are having difficulties in doing them. They want to orient other people into them so they can just learn from there. And I don't know why Kenge could not just use other people so as they can talk about, you know, man, you know, I have to test there. Here's some things that you have to test before you could just venture into it. Number one, Kenge could ever talk about Gintu, how is that food testing? But to the real effect of time, he can never tell you, Gintu, go and test this Argentina longnose and tell me how it is. That's where the playing was. That's where the play is. We are using other human beings like dogs to sniff and hear that, oh, if it wants to die, it has to die fast before I die. And that was the biggest scenario that people are being acted up to date. And that's why I have this kind of a call to all the people who think about they're going to be going there. They're just sniffing for him. And whenever they sniff, they get a channel for him to run himself. That's the baddest moment ever you have ever never seen. Guys, we have copyrights coming from the far end here. I don't know why. Here we go, guys. After yesterday, I revealed on how the fish pond, it has already occurred and how the things are getting worse and more worse, and the people now, they want to come back to the real vibe of the time. I've already talked about imagine now they have known the real verdict about what has really getting to the real position of the time. Now things are getting awesome and worse, and awesomeations are now coming in so fantastic. Califragistically good and califragistically continuous. And this is how the things want to be going, and elaborating and giving people the lecture. It's much better for them to know where are we heading to and where are we coming from. And this is how the generation is, and intergenerations of the interview, of the review, and every kind of the aspect of revealing what really has to come out clearly, vividly, or responsibly, how we have to go direct to the rule and to the point. First time, subscribe. It's underscore Gintu, the host today, Banana Plantation. People have to get the lecture. And today's lecture comes one-on-one from the Conmom, because I've been told we are coming for you. And don't go and talk about the Mzungus, the Wazungus outside there, so they can just call me and talking some lavish language and thinking about, oh, you can just intimidate Gintu, that, oh, it's your, imagine a person is telling me that it's your last time, and get it as a last time you are just talking about me, and things gonna be getting worse. And the fact is one, the Diddy uncle, I know is the person who is just setting the record to be the way it is, but I'm not interested. And don't insinuate, because I told you, in a bigger forest, once an axe was introduced in that forest, one of the trees said, it's one of us will ever betray us to be a handle. So if you get the point, get it. And this is the only GoPro that was brought in the courtesy of me knowing who Kenge is, and they wanted this kind of the GoPro not to reveal the fact. That's why it's acting as an axe and as a handle that was brought from the forest, and it left the forest crying. And this is how the things are going to be going, because I've seen the rhythm that they want to come out with in terms of intimidation again. And don't think about the Conmom this is just a one-on-one talk to you. Don't think about Gintu is intimidated with either Kohera Senior, neither Gunmo, nor the Machete Man. No one can ever come to intimidate or insinuate their own personality, stupid personification. They think about they can saunter to the front side of where I am walking or coming across to. I'm not given such kind of the portfolio with any kind of the lunatic. We have to go forward. If they don't get the lecture, they have to be lectured. So the change can give them a change, how the change going to be coming to change them. Because after the lecture right now, they're talking about we're going to be going and report you to the fish farm, that Gintu, you never did something very correctly, and you never told us how to make this kind of a fish pond to run. Look at how stupid they are up to the date. Because I've been called with one of the people I oriented in the YouTube platform. You know, guys, when I was working in Amaro compound as a fish farmer, I ever did something which was so meticulous. I engaged to know more about how to construct it, because you can never do something from your own mind only totally, because there's some of the things that do come, so as you can add them in and make sure that things are coming out clearly. What do I mean? I engaged to have the professionals who could give me the rhythm about what can we use in terms of making sure that the water will be consistently clean, as we're going to be rearing this kind of the fish, which are known as the ornamental fish, so as they can be, because it was an eye impression to everyone who's going to be visiting the Kenge fraternity there. So what can people see is a clear objectives of or subject that they want to see. So I wanted to engage much of the professionals to do this kind of the job. So I brought one of the person who could get me and come and test the water and tell me which kind of water. Has it to be alkaline or talk about neutral? And he said that there was something that we have to add inside there. There are some of the salts that will never trigger the growing or the growth of algae, nor zooplanktons nor phytoplanktons, and it will only encourage zooplanktons mostly than phytoplanktons in that kind of the water. And when I brought him, now Kenge yesterday, he called and I called this kind of a man, because I introduced this man with Kenge. So the man called me yesterday and said about I've been given because I'm the head of the Department of Migori. So I want to know what's really happening, because I was told to come and see the same fish pond you constructed. And when the pictures were sent to me, I remember the fish pond you showed me in that family. I said, send me the picture so as I can just tally. The guy sent me a picture and I was in there. And how the picture came, I talked about, okay, this is the same fish pond I introduced you into. What's really happening? He told me that the fish pond has dried up. The owner is complaining about you did something wrong there. That's why water can never be accommodated in that fish pond. I said, good, now you know. What do they need? What do Kenge need? Because when he told me that you have to vanish, when not even himself could call me and tell me that Gintu, you have to leave, the only thing he could do is to set up his own mother to come lavishly, and not knowing what was the causative agent of her coming and telling me that you have to evacuate with an immediate effect without even telling them any kind of a secret. That's why I never told anyone the secret behind that fish pond. Because they think about everything they should be told. I'm an engineer. You should not be told. If you want to talk about, oh, Gintu, why didn't you tell them? Did you see any draft? Did you see any quotation of that fish pond? Did you see any kind of a plan of that fish pond? It was no longer available. What did I mean? The fish pond was built with my brain. The plan is onto my brain. The quotation is onto my brain. Every calculation you need, I'm relevant for it. And it's in my brain. So that is where Kenge can never reach in terms of me. And into that one, Kenge, you are nil about it. So this kind of a person is telling me he's going to be coming to file a case that representing that the fish have been dying. Gintu was the one who never told us what to do. How am I responsible for that? Don't be stupid. How am I responsible for that? When you chased me, did you know that the fish will require somebody to be there daily to take care of them? Or you think about the fish is stocked, you have to leave it for the decades, and then you come back and talk about, oh, the fish are big, stupidity of the highest order. Who told you? Do you think it's just a fish is like a baby? You have to take care of it simultaneously. And confusionally, they think about fish is like just having a girlfriend. No. That's something different. Because what Kenge lives and he thought about, he thinks that how he has to control every human creature in that kind of a position, he thinks it's the same way he will ever do it. We are not doing it that way. We can never do it that way. We can never do it that way. Let us not have such kind of the program, people programming it in a way that you cannot even concern yourself and talk about this how the thing should be done. Let us not have such kind of the mimicry and irresonant ideas behind the correctional value of the day. And to the clear, simple terms, let's rejovel and make it happen. Because tomorrow is another day. You never thought about it. You never.